Problem 2 says that two numbers are given. If the second number is added to double the first, the result is 17. And if the first number is added to double the second, the result is 19. And then it asks us to find the two numbers. So I'm going to say that my first number is x, and my second number is y. And then we can come up with some equations from what we've been told in the question. So the question says, if the second number, which is y, is added to double the first, so that's plus 2 times x, the result is 17. So that equals 17. And then the next part of the question says, if the first number, so that's x, is added to double the second, so that's plus 2 times y, the result is 19. So that equals 19. And so now what I'm going to do is solve this first equation for y, because that's kind of an easy thing to solve for there. So I'm just going to subtract 2x on both sides of my equation. This gives me y is equal to 17 minus 2x. So now we have y in terms of x, and we can plug this expression in for y in this equation. So rewriting the second equation here, we have x plus 2, and then plugging in my expression for y in the first equation, that's 2 times 17 minus 2x, and that equals 19. So now I have an equation that only has one variable, and I can solve for x in this equation. So I'm going to start by multiplying this 2 into the brackets here. So 2 times 17 is 34. 2 times a negative 2x is negative 4x. Now I can combine like terms. So this gives me 34, and if I combine my x terms, I have 1x minus 4x, so that gives me negative 3x. This equals 19. I'm going to subtract 34 on both sides of my equation. This leaves me with negative 3x equals 19 minus 34, which is negative 15. Now I'm going to divide by negative 3 on both sides, which leaves me with x, and negative 15 divided by negative 3 is positive 5. So I'm left with x equals 5. Okay, so now I can take this value for x and plug it back into this first equation, because I have y in terms of x here. So plugging that in gives me y equals 17 minus 2 times 5 for x. So this gives me 17, and negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. And so y equals 17 minus 10, which is 7. So I have y equals 7 and x equals 5. And so now I want to check that these values I got are correct. So what I'm going to do is go back to the second equation, which I'm going to rewrite here, x plus 2y equals 19, and just plug in my x and y values that I got and see if my left side equals my right side of the equation. So on my left side, I'm plugging in 5 for x and 7 for y. And so 2 times 7 is 14, and 5 plus 14 is 19. So my left side equals my right side, and that can make me confident that these values for x and y, which correspond to the first and second number in the problem, are correct.